And as promised, we've actually got a double feature today. We're going to be talking about women thriving, and we've got not one, but two guests we're going to interview back to back. The first is Ann Bracket, who is the executive director, and the second is Bishnu Tamang, who has had several different interactions with the organization, and we want to learn all about that. But we're going to begin with Ann. So Ann, thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Representative Vitolo. We're very happy to be here.
Please call me Tommy, but more importantly, answer the questions. Ann, you're the director of Women Thriving. Everybody's in favor of Women Thriving, but what the heck is Women Thriving?
Okay, Women Thriving is a nonprofit organization. We're not new. We've been based in Brookline since 2011. We are largely funded by the Brookline Community Foundation over the years and other foundations and our local donors. We started as a project of the Brookline Community Mental Health Center. For many years, we were with the center, and we incorporated as a 501c3 nonprofit in March of 2019. Our mission is to co-create opportunities for women who face economic, social, and racial inequities. And we do this, opportunities to thrive through learning opportunities, leadership development, and community building.
That sounds pretty amazing. And this is a Brookline-focused organization exclusively?
It has been. In the last 2 years, we've started expanding, reaching out to other communities in Eastern Mass. And we look forward to doing that, but our base has always been in Brookline.
I think that's great. And I'll sort of editorialize for just a moment here. Many people from outside of Brookline have this idea that everyone lives in a house identical to Tom Brady's with economic circumstances identical to Tom Brady's. And of course, that's not true. Brookline is, yes, a wealthier than average town, but individuals are not averages. We have the full economic spectrum. We have the full racial spectrum. We have the full spectrum of experiences in our very big community. And that includes women who are in a position to thrive if they get the kind of supports that anyone in their position would need. And that's why I'm excited to actually learn more about Women Thriving. Tell us about some of the ways in which you help women reach that sort of potential.
Okay, so we have 3 basic pillars of our work. One is learning opportunities. Another is leadership development. And the third is community building. They all, kind of go together. So for instance, our learning opportunities, our workshop series, usually 4 to 8 weeks in length. Before 2020 and COVID, we did our series in person. Since March of 2020, everything has been on Zoom. And it's interesting to me because Zoom has been really helpful to so many of our participants, particularly, say, women with young children. So when we would have an activity, a workshop series or something like that, that was being held, let's say at the health department, people would have to worry about childcare, the weather, transportation, whereas Zoom allows people to participate without those kinds of limitations. So in fact, in the past year, we had growth in number of women participating and the number of workshop series. So last year, we did 30 small group workshop series, and those were facilitated by social workers and specialty instructors in many different areas, which I'll share with you. And last year was different as well, largely because of Bishnu's work, in that 60% of our participants were immigrants. So about half of them were Latinas, and we've been working with Latinas for the 4 years, I guess, specifically providing programming in Spanish. And then last year was our first year to offer programming for Asians and Asian Americans, programming that was specific for them. And we also have other programming that's open for everyone. So these have been the cornerstone of our work. Since 2012, we started doing a workshop series called Surviving and Thriving, which is based on resiliency theory and provides a lot of learning and sharing about some basic skills such as stress relievers, positive self-talk, those kinds of things, assertiveness. So we do a lot of different workshop series now. And last year, for instance, we did a lot around resiliency skills, including surviving and thriving and coping with COVID. We're doing a new series this fall called Transitions and Life Changes. And these are co-facilitated by social workers. And my co-founder, Women Thriving, was co-founded by myself and Andrea Johnson, who has been a social worker for many, many years and was at the Brookline Center. This past year, we started doing parenting workshop series. And we did one based on the Boston Basics, which is great information and materials that are available. Parenting and self-care for moms of children 0 to 3, so the little ones. And also we did parenting of teens, which is, of course, that's something, Tommy, you can look forward to down the road.
Someday.
Pardon?
Someday soon. My son's turning 11 next month.
Oh yeah, watch out. So those parenting programs were great. We did 2 of them in Spanish for Latinas, and we did 2 of them in English for Asians and Asian Americans that were facilitated. We did, yes, 2, facilitated by Asian Americans who are local in Brookline. And those were very well received. People found them extremely helpful, and especially to have a group who shared the challenges of child rearing and had somebody to talk with about this. This was really important. Another new area last year was language and culture. And so we did a lot of English literacy for Latinas and for Asian Americans. Plus, we have all our health and wellness, Pilates, yoga, cooking, walking, and our thriving garden. There's more.
Yeah, so it sounds like there's a lot going on for women, all of whom have some common themes, but also, of course, have differences, right? In language skills, whether or not they have children at home and how many, and in the supports they need for either getting or improving on their job circumstance, right? And it sounds like there's a lot of kind of hands-on or small group focused help, which is fabulous. My question to you is, how can people in Brookline be helpful? What can Brookline do to support women thriving?
So many things. And I haven't talked about leadership development, which I'll leave to Bishnu, as she can talk about a lot of that. But we count on Brookline to help us out, and a number of ways. One is women recruiting women to participate in programming. Just like Bishnu does, she has been grand at recruiting, especially Asian American women. And so it's to participate in activities, to volunteer, and to donate. Volunteers, we need volunteers to do a lot of things. It's not stuffing envelopes. It's not that kind of work, but it's creating workshop series or facilitating workshop series. For instance, this past year, Susan, I'm going to mess up her name, wonderful name, Emanuelidis, who is a choral director, longtime choral director in Brookline. And she started a singing group, which was so popular, and it's going to start again in January. So she volunteered to create that and to do that. How else? We need people to support our leadership development work, planning and coaching, etc. To support our working groups, help us plan our fundraising. And finally, we need your support from all the donors to help us function, because we can't function without you. We have a number of ways. Obviously, we accept donations at any time through our website. You can join the Circle of Strength, which is where people donate at different levels. You can look forward to great activities that are fundraisers. We're going to do another art series. Last year, we did a series of 4 different art talks on Zoom like this. They were a great success. We had Karen Moss, Mara Hazeltine, Sharon Witham, and Laura Chasman, who presented their art, talked about it in an informal setting in which the people in the audience had a chance to answer questions, ask questions of the artist. What inspired you? How did you get started, etc. So those are coming up late October and November, and then in January, February, we have another group that we're working with, a wonderful Haitian artist from Boston, a Japanese stone carver, and Brookline's own Evelyn Birdie. We invite people, and these are such enjoyable activities, and they help us. We also do Amazon Smile. All you have to do is go on your Amazon and make sure that Women Thriving is receiving a percentage of what you pay. Lately, people have been doing Facebook birthday donations. Amazing that those come through with like $1,000 a pop, a birthday. So, this is something really easy to do.
Well, I know I first learned about Women Thriving from my friend and yours, Chobi Hoy, who invited me to a fundraising event. And it was an art-related event in person before COVID, of course.
Yes.
And it was fascinating. It was wonderful. And it's sort of an example of how we as members of the community, and I think nobody does it better than Chobe, have a cultural and social obligation to bring others in to the great things about our community. And this is clearly one of them. Ann, tell us the website, and then I'm really excited to hear from Bishnu. So let us know the website, and then Bishnu, be on the ready. We're gonna talk with you in just a minute.
Yes, it is Women Thriving MA for Massachusetts.org. Women Thriving MA. And we invite you to look at that and to see our board, see all our activities. We're working very hard to keep up with it and keep it updated. Not always perfect, but we're getting there.
Well, Ann,
and we thank you all.
You bet. Thank you for all of your work in co-founding Women Thriving and for all of the years since. But I'm excited now to hear from Bishnu Tamang, who is a thriver, who's a board member, who's been involved in lots of different parts of the organization. Bishnu, how are you today?
Hello, good afternoon. I think it's afternoon. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for pulling your little time out of your busy schedule. So I'm doing good. Thank you.
It's my pleasure to connect with you and get to know you a little bit. I want to begin by sort of asking how you became involved with Women Thriving and what your early experiences were like.
Sure. So I actually moved into Brookline in 2015, and the same time, I don't have other family members here, so I had to survive with the people, live here. I have a child, so everything was new for me, and how people live here, how to take care of him. So one of my neighbor introduced me to Women Thriving, and they say there is a women's dinner night coming up soon, and then I think it's a good time for you to go and learn with them and then see the community resources. So that's how I went, and I had a first women's dinner night in January, I think, and then I attended so many workshop series. So they had a table set up, 5-6 tables, and each table have different workshop series, and I tried to click as many as I could because I had to learn, and I had to learn for not only for myself but for my son as well. So that I think I pushed myself a lot towards, and so other event, the workshop I attended was we did the interview, video editing and filming at the Big in 2014, and at the 14, I think, yeah, no, not 14. I came in 15, so it's maybe 15, 16. So after that, yeah, we were 5-6 women's, and then it was very welcoming. Everyone was very diverse in culturally, language-wise, everything. So that was a good experience learning with them. And since then, I'm here until now and continue to be with the Women Thriving.
Can you share with us, if you have one, a particular workshop or leadership development event that you felt was particularly meaningful or impactful in your life? Was there one that sticks with you?
So for me, everything had this workshop has different value, different things to teach. Though I don't have much money, but I did attend a financial literacy class because money management is a big thing. And then the other thing I attended was a healing through art series with the Brookline Art Center. And then that was a very good experience. It was, I think, 8-week series. And then we did the other, I think, big one was Toastmaster public speaking at the Higher Up Church. And it was a 6-7 weeks of public speaking series. And I think that also helped me come out a little bit, speak out in public, because I wasn't speaking that much as I'm speaking now because I was quiet. So that has helped me come out as myself to build a little bit of confidence and speaking in the public a little better. And then I think I attended many more. I don't remember really. The other thing is we still do. We do community gardening at the Brookline Foundation building. We have little garden. So all the tribers who are close around and the Brookline, we go there and grow our fruits and vegetables. We still have some growing until right now. Since the fall is coming, it's gonna go away soon because it's snow. And then the other one was we had a long training of leadership development with Ann. And then, yeah, I don't know who else was, I don't remember, but we are 6, 7 leadership members. We attended the training, and then part of the training, the how to reach out to people in the community, writing emails, using proper language. So that was, and then being a leader and a leader session. So after the training, all of us had a work. Some had a Spanish group, so they run their Spanish sessions, and I had since there's no one who speaks Nepali, so I did English art classes for mothers and children. And then on the spring of 2019 or 2020, I think, and then another friend did a poetry study. So it was a good learning experience, and I felt good that after I completed the session and be able to lead the people, and then I am the leader of that. So,
well, I love that you mentioned the Toastmasters. I'll tell you just a little secret. I speak in public a lot, and I'm to this day always very, very nervous before I begin speaking. Every time, no matter if it's in front of 5 people or 500 people. I think I do a pretty good job, and I should feel very calm and confident, but in fact, my stomach is always in knots and turning upside down before I am to speak publicly, and I hide it. I don't, nobody knows, but I feel it inside, and you have to just say what's in your heart and say what's important, and it will come out of you one way or another, I think. It's clear that some of the leadership seminars and work that Women Thriving has, that you've participated in with Women Thriving has been effective, because now you're a leader in Women Thriving. Tell us about your role with the board and in servicing others through Women Thriving. I'm dying to learn about it.
Sure, definitely. So though I'm on a board, and I'm on a leadership team, one of the member. I do a lot of recruitment, reaching out to people, either through the email or through the organizations or places, and post a flyer or send email or call them, contact them. And then I did that a lot during the COVID 2020, because people were alone at home, and then we did nothing, but we wanted to at least reach out to the people, the women. At least we talked 5 minutes with them and asked them if you are okay during that. So that was very important. We did that, and mostly reach out, and then we created the program because this organization is to help people, women. And I saw myself, I don't know if I'm too early to say that, but so the people, I know there were people at the beginning of this organization who helped the organization with, some of their activities to raise money or do something. I see only me that has Asian structures in face in the organization. I say, we are here to help, and I think the organization needed to grow. So I had to sit down with Ann and talk about how can we be more approachable to more wider community, wider people. And then that's how we come up with creating different classes, different groups for a specific, either Asian, since I'm here, then Asian only don't have one kind of people. There are so many, but we come out, the common language will be English. So we created an Asian group and then a Spanish group. So that's why we had a different activities different approach we created to reach out to people.
So really, there's a lot going on, and really exciting. Bishnu, do you have any vision for what comes next for you, for Women Thriving? Tell us about what you see coming down the road.
Actually, I think myself, it's been since 2015, and I feel myself I'm going towards a nonprofit field that is going to be long life. I will be involved with either working, volunteering, or do anything, and had a opportunity that I wanted to grow more, and I want to learn how to fundraise, how to ask money with people, how to create a program more appropriately. I am for that in-founder training. She thought I would be good, so I am actually I have started last Friday with a Metro West nonprofit network. They teaches nonprofit management, so they will. I just started, and I have 12 weeks to go, so that will teach me be more better, more skillful. So I feel I will be more helpful to Ann. Right now, coming out with a specific, I don't have exact right now with me what I will be doing, but the Asian group that I have, I want to keep continuing, or the language programs that we created to serve the community of any different languages. Right now we have Spanish and Asian communities, so that has to be continued ongoing, no matter of what their income levels. Immigrants have a difficulty. As soon as you can be very high professional back in your country, but once you hear out of any circumstances, you start with zero. I had my English, I had done master English, but when I came here, my English was no word, because every kid here, they born and they had a first language English. So that is something priority I have seen, and that will be continuing. So definitely the funding will definitely help to recruit more teachers, create more continuous programs. It doesn't have to be once a year, maybe twice a year, or one morning to an afternoon. So that is my plan. Language is my first priority, and then other things are definitely the job trainings that we can create and make a bridge so that they can continue further their employment and help themselves living a better citizen here.
Unfortunately, we're out of time. I love this conversation. I wish we could go on much longer, but I want to remind folks, womenThrivingMA.org. Go check it out, learn about the organization. Perhaps you are a future thriver, perhaps you're a future volunteer, perhaps you're a future donor, perhaps you're all three. Check it out. And Ann Bracket, Executive Director, Bishnu Tamang, all around Women Thriving participant. Thanks so much for coming on Brookline Interactive Group today and telling us about Women Thriving. I wish you all the success in the future. And do let me know when you're having an event for the general public, so I can send it out on my networks and encourage people to attend and maybe learn about some art and write a check, because nonprofits need the resources. Sometimes that's volunteer hours, and sometimes, frankly, they just got to pay the bills. And we know people in Brookline are so supportive, and we want to connect them with that. So thanks again for coming on the show. Viewers, thanks for watching. Brookline Interactive Group, we'll see you next week. Be well.